Hey, this is attorney Elizabeth Potts Weinstein, and today we're going to talk about how to figure out if you need a business license. So everybody doesn't need a business license actually, but a lot of you do. And the reason I can't just answer that question for every single person and every single business is because whether or not you need a business license is a hyper local question. In some states you need one, in some counties you need one, in some cities or towns you need one, and in some you don't. So it's the important thing to be aware of is that you may or may not need one, and you have to figure out which level of government in the United States is in charge of making that decision for you. What I recommend is you start at the state level, and then you go to the county level, and then you go to the city or town level. We're looking at here, do you need a general business license? And what that means is the business license that applies to every kind of business, no matter what you're doing. Sometimes you don't need a general business license, but you need one for your specific industry or profession. What we're going to be looking for is some kind of guide, some set of steps to start a business. We might look at the local ordinances, which are like laws, but for a local level. And of course, we're going to be looking for any documents to actually do this filing. So it could be a PDF form that you're going to use, or it could be an online filing system. Whenever you're doing something local, it's important to remember that you may need to call somebody to ask the question. Typically, at the state level, the questions will be answered on their website. But when you get down to things that are hyper local, like your small town, you may need to get on the phone or go in person once the situation is over to find out if you need a business license, and they will help you get your business license and even help you figure out which form you need and get it filed correctly. So let's go ahead and go through a couple different examples so you can figure out the process you need to use to decide if you need a business license. Let's pretend that you're starting a business in Los Angeles, California, specifically the city of Los Angeles. So first we're going to start at the state level. California business license. So, do you need a business license with California? We're looking for a government website that answers that question. So, a ca.gov is what government websites are in California. So, applying for a business license. Now, this part of the website in California isn't about general business license. This is about seller's permits, which is for sales taxes. So we want to look for information about a general business license. So go back here, starting a business. Okay, you have a business plan. Depending upon your location, there's other services available. Nothing about this talks about a business license. It does have other resources of people you can talk to about it. So there isn't a place to file it here on the state website. So let's go look at the county and city level. Now in this case, your pretend business is in the city of Los Angeles. So Los Angeles business license. All right. Now we want to look for the city of Los Angeles, not just the county. They're going to likely have different information. So the city of Los Angeles. Los Angeles Office of Finance. Now, one of the things that they have is that you can actually put in your specific address to make sure that you're within city limits. And like many large cities, there are little pockets that you may use Los Angeles as your address for your business or for your house or apartment, but you're not in the city limits. You're actually in the county. So Los Angeles, you can use their business portal to get information about starting your business. And as they say here, every business in Los Angeles needs to be registered. One thing that's important to understand is that a business license is called different names in different places. It can be called a business registration, it can be called a tax certificate, it can be called a business license. So you have to kind of keep an eye out for all those different words. So let's go with register your business. Register with the Office of Finance Business Tax Registration Certificate. This is the place where you're going to do the registration. So as you can see, I had to click on a lot of things to find it. And That can be true wherever you are. Now, you can register it online or in person, and you have to see if their offices are close enough to you and if they're actually open. So now, let's pretend you're starting a business in Nevada, specifically in Las Vegas. So in Nevada, Las Vegas, the county for Las Vegas is Clark County. But let's go ahead and start at the very high level. Let's start at the state of Nevada. Nevada business license. So, Nevada business license, here's a website, nvsos.gov, so a government website. We don't want to click on some random website. And it has state business license requirements. So the business license for Nevada are done at this state level. So let's try to find the actual link for it. Oh, we just clicked on that and we get to Silverflume. Silverflume is the online filing service in Nevada. And here you could form an LLC, you can do a whole bunch of different things, but one of the things you can do is get the business license for your business. Typically when I form a business in Nevada, I'll get the business license at the same time I'm like forming the LLC. Let's say you have a sole proprietorship. So you're going to get a business license, sole proprietor, and then you would go through that process. Now, let's say that you're going to form a business in North Carolina. Specifically, you're forming a business in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is Mecklenburg County. I actually have my ancestors are from there. North Carolina business license. When you're searching for information about filing your business license, sometimes there will be answers that Google just gives you. But you want to make sure that that comes from a government website and not some random website, because they might not have the accurate, up-to-date information. So here, there's information from cityapplications.com and things like that. But we want to go to the website in North Carolina that's the government website, so we get the most up-to-date information. So I'm actually going to open up both of these top two answers and see if we can get a clear answer. So here, starting a business in North Carolina has business registration, licensing, employers, taxes. And then here we have licenses and permits from the Secretary of State. So it says here, North Carolina has no single general business license that ensures compliance with all requirements. However, there are over 700 regulatory state-issued and occupational licenses and permits. And sometimes you also need a local license. So the occupational licenses and permits are for very specific businesses, specific types of businesses, specific industries, the services that you provide, the products that you sell. And typically, there will be some kind of little application on their website that helps you figure that out. So I clicked on the business licenses and permits, and then it has a directory. So we'll pull that up. Here are all the different types of licenses. So let's say you're going to be an acupuncturist. You need to get a license to be an acupuncturist in this state. It's a 2-year license. You have to have a degree. It's kind of like any other licensed profession. Let's say you're going to do a boarding kennel. You're going to be boarding dogs, maybe at your home or at your property. In this place, you have to have a license for that. There's an application listed here. There's no application fee, but licenses cost $75, and that you can't have had any felony convictions in your record. So now let's look and see if we need any license that's local here. So we're going to look at Charlotte business license. Oh, it would probably be helpful if I actually typed the word correctly. Permits and licenses in the city of Charlotte. Okay. Business license. Let's click on this. And this is the actual .gov website. So it looks like business licenses are actually at the county level here. There's no privilege license tax because it was repealed in North Carolina. If you're opening a new business and responsible for collecting and remitting taxes, you have to fill this out. There's license requirements for specific businesses, for vehicle rental, food and beverage, for alcohol, things of that nature. So this is an example of business licenses that are specific to your industry. One thing you want to watch out for if you have an Airbnb business is a lot of cities and towns and counties have started setting up laws specifically for Airbnbs, for short-term rentals that aren't like a hotel, a formal hotel. So just because you're renting out a room in your home doesn't mean you don't need a business license. For example, here, if you want to do a garage sale, you have to get a license for it. The license is only $5, so not a big deal, but it's something to be aware of. Again, this is attorney Elizabeth Potts Weinstein. If you have any questions about whether or not you need a business license and how you can figure that out, go ahead and ask that below and I'll try to point you in the right direction. Hit the thumbs up if you found this video helpful and subscribe for more videos for small business owners and entrepreneurs. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.